And everybody says it's okay to be addicted to dopamine. It's not. Real health will never be in the hands of the masses. See, because most people think that the body is what health is. It's foolish, right? There's no such way. You have to be living under a rock to sit and say that the mind does not affect the body. Life is such a dance. And it's the ability to adapt in that dance. It's the ability to move and flow and the ebbs and flows of life. The more unadaptable you become, the more chaos you're going to create emotionally for yourself. It just is. Because your mind and your body become connected. Right? Your mind and your brain is actually designed to think. Your whole body is designed to function in a state of balance. It's not designed for anything other than balance. The body is the conduit of consciousness, and what's going on up in your consciousness is manifested in your physical state. And I accumulated and compiled all this data over, several years, and I started correlating things. And I started correlating patterns, started correlating things, and I realized that, you know what, there is no doubt in my mind, 100% of the time, that what's going on in your psychology is 100% expressed in your physiology. So then I had to say, this has to be an emotional component. This has to be part of the emotional game that we're playing. And if the emotions are affecting tension headaches because your thinking is off, I wonder what would happen if I didn't actually physically take care of the patient and I started to work their mind. And I started working their mind. I started working their thinking. And I started realizing what the patterns were. I started realizing what the challenges were. And I started looking at it. And as I changed it, as I started changing thinking, this went away. And I realized at that point in time that I was really onto something bigger than what we can think. I knew I was onto something with a clinical correlation that would give us an analysis of what's going on in our psychology and our physiology. And we can correlate it based on how we think. See, because most people think that the body is what health is. It's foolish, right? There's no such way. You have to be living under a rock to sit and say that the mind does not affect the body. So we look at it and we say, okay, the mind and the body have to have some connection. Now there's two parts of this nervous system. You have this thing called the sympathetic nervous system, and you have this thing called the parasympathetic nervous system. Both of these need to function. What happens if we become too sympathetic? Our bodies become heavily acidic. And our bodies become very, very cancer prone, so to speak. I don't want to belabor that, but it becomes very acidic and it's stressed. The cortisol goes up, anxiety goes up, all that goes up. Blood pressure goes up inside that state. Now the other side we kind of talked about yesterday was the parasympathetic side. And the parasympathetic side, that's the side that's relaxed and rested. And here's what most people, and especially the allopathic model, will tell you that is health. This is bad, the sympathetic is bad, and the parasympathetic is good. The more parasympathetic you have, the better it is. The parasympathetic is for build and grow. When you're high amounts of stress, overstressed, do you grow? No, you stay small, don't you? You stay small. When you're overly supported, do you grow? No. You grow in equal amounts of support and challenge. When you lift weights, if you overexert the muscle, what happens? Fatigue kicks in, and the muscle says, oh, no, I'm not working out, done. Because health is the environment in which you create, within you and around you. Within you and around you. A person who's too far parasympathetic, my doctors will appreciate as I go into this for a second, too far sympathetic or parasympathetic, you create blastic conditions. You create too much sympathetic, you create clastic conditions. Clastic means a body breaks down. Blastic means it builds up. Okay, you tell me, we have a major problem in this country. And the major problem is not mental. It is mental, but is diabetes. Dopamine and sugars is what you call feeling good. So when someone has shame in their life, what do they search for? Sugar. Women, you'll call it wine. Gentlemen, you'll call it a beer. I'm stereotyping. Helen, you'll call it a beer, maybe not wine. Okay? Or you'll look at it and say, a cigarette. Or you'll look at it and say, you know what, some treat or pizza or carbs. Do you think there's a carb problem in our country? Yes. Yes. No question about it. So is diabetes building up the body or breaking it down? It's building up. Let's talk gluten-free, because I just saw gluten-free. Gluten-free options do not escape you from diabetes, because you're still putting carbohydrates. Okay? Gluten-free does not mean, I'm exempt from diabetes. That's not true at all. Gluten-free just means you're not putting the protein gluten into your body inside of it. That's all it means. The more carb we put into our system, I'm not going to go into the details of insulin releasing and all that, but what it does, it builds up the body. And the more sugars we put into our system, they stay stored around here for men, and for women, it's around here, right? And we store our weight inside there. And people say that fat is a bad thing. Fat is a bad thing. Fat is not a bad thing, and diabetes is not a disease. What did he just say? Diabetes is not a disease. It's a normal condition that happens when you put too much sugar in your system. It's a normal process. But as soon as we label something as a disease, now we can give it a drug for it. Now we can give it a medication because the FDA approved it and we say it's a disease, right? But I want to say about 8 years ago, they said that being overweight is a disease. Is it? It's a disease, Priya, that people just eat too much? No. By no means is it a disease. It's a choice. Remember I said every moment you make a choice and a decision, you make a choice and a decision to lead yourself to empowerment or disempowerment. Either way, you're making a choice. Depending on what you put into your body, it's a choice. And the more you value yourself, the better choices you're going to put for nutrition into your system. The more you love yourself and the more you rewire and all the crap that you've been going through in your life and you get rid of all these root experiences, you now value yourself and don't want to put that into your system. And as Nick said yesterday, you don't even crave those foods. And I hope you guys realize that I'm saying certain words like fat f***. I'm saying these things to get under your skin. Because if you don't wake up to your health, nobody's coming to do it. No medical doctor, no biological doctor, no chiropractor. If you don't empower your health, you are the one that's going to suffer. It's addictions to your world. It's addictions to fantasies. It's addiction to dopamine. And everybody says it's okay to be addicted to dopamine. It's not. It's going to destroy your family's health. It's going to destroy your health. It's going to destroy your business. It's going to destroy every aspect of it. Health is energy. The amount of energy you can output and the amount of energy you can input. But if you're eating like that and doing things like that, and let's stop blaming Monsanto and GMOs and stop blaming people. Let's learn how to take charge of our life. Let's learn how to eat. Let's learn how to do the things that are right for our body. A body is designed to be healthy. If we're looking at diabetes as the problem, we've got to ask what makes us think to eat like diabetics. That's the cause. Diabetes is the symptom. If the nervous system stops, stops coordinating all the cells don't get nutrition. You die. What controls how your nervous system functions? Let's go down this rabbit. How we think. How we think. Real health will never be in the hands of the masses. They will think it's about exercise. Is exercise important? Yes. Am I saying it's not important? I'm not. I'm not saying that. But is it the most important thing to make you survive? No. If we look at it in a degree of increasing importance, how we think determines that. Because right now, if I wanted to get really, really mad at someone, could I change my physiology in the glimpse of a second? Yes, I can. So is that going to change the way I respond? Is that going to change the way that I react? 100%. So my thoughts now impact that. The thing that controls all of it is your nervous system. But what controls your nervous system? How you adapt to an environment that's changing. And what controls that? How you think.
Hey guys, if you like that video, click on the link over here and you're going to love the next video.